Hey guys. Oh, my car is yelling at me. Go figure. Another awesome cognitive behavioral class. And I feel like it is a class more than therapy because learning how your brain works kind of behind the scenes really helps you take control of everything. Everything. And when we talk about different spiritual concepts like manifesting, that's a huge powerful tool. And I really think that everyone that's studying manifesting that isn't studying cognitive behavioral therapy is probably doing it wrong. No offense, y'all wrong, love you, but y'all wrong. And the past few weeks we've been going through, self-talk, positive self-talk, negative self-talk, neutral self-talk, and kind of how to slow down your brain enough to identify it, and then how to kind of stop and evaluate how that self-talk is kind of making your world turn. So for instance, if you're having negative self-talk, which is causing anxiety, which is causing physical distress, obviously that self-talk is having a pretty tremendous impact on your life. When we talk about anxiety, when we talk about panic attacks, when we talk about panic attacks that feel like heart attacks, for me, anxiety surrounding the kids is a huge thing. And I was explaining to him how I was very tested this weekend. Kids were picked up Sunday and I get a text that Audrey's had an accident. She urinated herself, apparently. And of course, my brain catastrophized the situation, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so upset. What happened that she would pee herself? Because she hasn't had an accident, given she's only four, but she hasn't had an accident for a very, very, very long time, to the point where I've given away the pull-ups, I've donated the pull-ups, she's in big girl panties. So I started asking questions amid the accusations that, clearly it's my fault that she peed herself. And I'm like, okay, focus. What happened? Was she doing something? Was she scared? Was she surprised? Was she startled? Because she has that jumping scare thing. She likes to be surprised and scared. Like that little rush of adrenaline pleases her. She's going to be the one I have to take to the haunted houses while I pee myself and she's having fun. That's the situation we have. And he's like, no, she was just playing and then all of a sudden she peed herself. And I'm like, aha, the stubborn streak. So Daniel Tiger, one of PBS's favorite cartoon characters, which is actually a break-off of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Daniel Tiger has a potty song that we potty trained with, and it's stop and go right away. Well, Audrey's stubborn. I love her. She enjoys doing what she wants to do, and when she's very focused and in tune with something, she doesn't necessarily want to stop doing that to do other things, like go to the bathroom. And in fact, she's kind of renowned at this point in her life for giving herself infections because she holds it. It might be that she doesn't want to use the bathroom that we're near. They might have those really loud hand dryers or whatever. She hates those. And I don't blame her. It's really kind of obnoxious. She even hates the potties that flush loudly, like the automatic flush potties, because they're so powerful. It's kind of loud. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly there's nothing else. I asked. I'm like, is there anything else? Was it red? Was it green? Was there something else? And he's like, no, she's cleaned up now. She's pretty upset. I'm like, yeah, because you yelled at her. So I'm like, okay, well, just keep an eye on anything, make sure she goes, tries to go every 2 to 3 hours. And really when she gets stubborn, I put a timer on the kitchen stove, so every 2 hours it goes off. She knows we practice. She is stubborn, and I love her, but it's one of those bodily functions that you gotta work with. She's only had this body for 4 years. It's kind of new. Gotta get used to it. And I of course had the anxiety that I need to go rescue her. And it's funny. He was like, the therapist was like, it's kind of cute how motherly you are. He's like, but I don't think that you realize that it's negative for you and it's also negative for her. And I was like, well, yeah, but you shouldn't deal with someone yelling at you and you're already upset because you peed yourself. And he's like, she needs to learn how to deal with her father. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. And he's like, and she knows that that's not normal behavior because you would never do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess that's true. And he was like, and she's now at school surrounded by people who care for her, that will take care of her. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And he's like, so your evidence to the contrary has been laid out. I'm like, yeah. I was like, but I had a huge anxiety spike this morning. I forgot about like everything today because I got myself so wound up. I was like, I will go to Audrey's school and I will see how she is doing. After her class, I'll go after her class and see if she wants to come home early. Maybe I'll take her to the library. We'll do lunch. We'll do something special. And, I was like, yeah, because if she had a bad time, I got to make things right. I need to make sure she's okay, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, I was winding myself up, and then I was like, I have to stop because I looked at my calendar and I realized I had an appointment. I can't bring her to my therapist appointment. Actually, I probably could. I don't think that he would mind. And, he only curses every so often. But I was like, I know that she's safe where she is. I know that if something were wrong, the school would call me because they would. I was like, and I really do want and need to go to this appointment. I was like, so I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm telling him the story of this and making the sound. And he's just kind of smiling. And he's like, did you skip ahead a chapter? He's like, have you read this before? And I'm like, no, I swear I haven't. I was like, but I calm myself down enough to remind myself that she's at school learning and having fun. She's with her friends. She's with her favorite teacher. And she loves to nap. So if I went and stole her nap, like that would be a negative thing for her. So I can't steal my kid's nap, So he laughed at that. And he was like, well, you just gave a perfect example of what we're going to study today, which is countering that negative self-talk and kind of neutralizing everything and like bringing the rational thought to the forefront, even though you're kind of in the middle of that swirly vortex of emotion and panic and anxiety. And he was like, what did you learn? And I was like, well, I realized that if I went and rescued her today to prove that what happened was only an accident, that I was instilling that was an important incident, and that, I don't know what she would take out of that. I was like, I want, I'm going to talk to her about it this afternoon when I pick her up. I was like, but I don't want to put a tremendous amount of importance on it or stress it. I'm just going to be like, so I heard you have an accident. Are you okay? Have you been peeing today? But ask the weird mom questions about peeing, right? And he's like, I think that is a very good lesson. He's like, I think that's a very good tactic. He was like, just remember the things that you're learning here. These are fantastic skills to pass on to your kids. He was like, so make sure, when you're learning that you're passing the good stuff on and neutralizing the negative stuff. So I'm like, okay. He's like, you did good. I'm like, yeah, I did good. So I learned, all of, a few new things. I think the most interesting thing was kind of the short form of, what did he call it? I can't remember. But basically I was like, the panic attack stopper. Recognize that you're in the middle of feelings or emotions, distress, thought patterns, that swirly vortex of what if, and I should have, I would have, I could have, I should have, blah, blah, blah. We talked about the 4 archetypes of anxiety: the worrier, the critic, the victim, and, oh gracious, what was the other one? Oh man, I'm going to fail this class. No, the worrier, I don't remember. And the other one that doesn't really matter, it's a cousin to the critic, and that's probably why I'm forgetting him. But for me, the perfectionist. It's the perfectionist. For me, the worrier is the biggest one that I have to care about, that I that has evolved throughout my motherhood and the postpartum, and I carry that through still, and I don't want to, because I don't want to worry, I don't want to stress, because eventually that will overflow and the kids will realize, wow, mom is worried, wow, mom is stressed. Should I be worried? Should I be stressed? Why is mom stressed? Am I causing mom stress? Like, so I want to nip that in the bud before, before that flows over to anywhere else in my life, because I don't want that too. But I think that this is so important. This is so important. So if you are having stress or anxiety in your life, I really, really, really encourage you to look into cognitive behavioral therapy. And it really is teaching you to be your own detective and counselor and therapist all in one, by kind of walking you through to the manual of your brain and figuring out what is affecting you. So like I don't really have anything to do with the critic. I don't really have much to do with the victim, but the perfectionist, that I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should be doing this. And the worrier is like, oh my gosh, what if something happened to the kid? Oh my gosh. Because it's never something little. It's never Audrey's going to skin her knee. It's like, oh my gosh, Audrey's going to catch on fire. Like the weirdest, craziest thing you can think of. My brain is like, sure, that seems like a rational thought process, why not? And I'm like, wait, am I sure that's a rational thought process? Because I'm pretty sure Audrey wouldn't just randomly catch on fire. I mean, she's a little klutzy, but not that klutzy. Gracious. So it has been extremely, extremely useful to me already, and I'm sorry this is going long, but it was really good informational session, and I learned a lot. So again, if you're looking into getting into affirmations, if you're looking to get into manifesting, if you're looking to just take control of your life, this is a huge deal. And I certainly recommend that even if you can't find someone that practices in your area, that you get yourself some books, okay? And I am going to ask him for a list eventually. He said, I can't cheat and read ahead, so he's not giving me them yet. But if you're interested, I will certainly ask him for a list of books for someone that can't find or can't afford a practitioner. You may be able to get a book through your library regarding cognitive behavioral therapy. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you later.